Disney presents. From Frontierland.
With Stetson so white and a pearl-handled gun swinging on his side. Texas John Slaughter made 'em do what they oughter, 'cause if they didn't, they died.
In his lifetime along the brawling borderland of the old Southwest, there were few problems John Slaughter couldn't settle with a horse, a rope, or a gun. Like everyone else in the West, John spent many hours every day in the saddle. His horse took him on cattle drives to market, and when it was necessary, John depended on his horse to pursue rustlers and outlaws who threatened his life and property. His rope or lariat was always lashed to his saddle, ready to be used to cut cattle out of a herd or to capture and tame wild horses for his remuda. And as for his gun, well, as John himself explained it,
my daddy used to say the Colt is a great equalizer. No matter how big a man is, he can always be cut down by somebody half his size who knows how to use one of these things better than he does.
So John Slaughter's life was made simpler because he was a superb horseman, an expert roper, and fast with a gun. But none of these accomplishments was of any use to him when he tried to make a home for his children, Addie and Willie. John, a mere man, found that nothing he had experienced before had prepared him to cope with the inventive mischief of two healthy, growing children. So for the first time in his life, John had to call on a woman for help, as you will see in this newest adventure of our true hero of the West, titled Apache Friendship.
You give that back, Willie. Give it back or I'm gonna tell. Give it back, Willie. Papa, Willie took my book.
Willie, give her the book.
Here, you old sauerkraut. I was only having some fun, Pa. Can't you stop him from teasing me? Grouch!
Willie, I told you before not to call your sister names. You do it again, I'm going to take you up behind the barn.
Where are you going, Pa?
Well, me and Mr. Howell got to go to Tombstone to testify at local Crispin's trial.
Will you be seeing Viola?
Oh, I expect so.
You gonna ask Wise Mom and Pa if you can marry her?
Am I gonna what?
You can ask Wise Mom and Pa if you can marry her.
Now, where'd you ever get a notion like that?
Is it true you're gonna marry Viola?
Who told you that?
A little bird told us.
Now, Willie, this is no joke. Who told you?
Gus made us promise that we wouldn't say anything.
Gus.
Tattletale.
Gus.
Yes, John.
Come here. Say, what's the idea of telling those kids all that stuff about me and Miss Howell?
Well, I thought it was about time they were told. After all, if Viola Howell's going to be their stepma, they ought to be getting used to the idea.
What if her folks find out about it before I have a chance to tell them? Why, her ma'll raise Ned if she thinks I'm going sneaking around behind her back.
I'm going to speak my piece, John. Now, if you don't like it, you go get yourself another foreman. But I've got to get this off my chest. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. You've run up against something that you can't handle with a horse, a rope, or a gun.
Now, wait a minute,
Now,
Gus.
hear me out. Now, those kids need a mother, and you need a wife. Viola Howell's got eyes for nothing on or off this earth but you. So why do you keep putting off asking her folks? You scared they'll say no? You scared to make up your mind? Or just plain scared? Oh, don't bother explaining to me. There's your family. You go explain to them.
You heard Gus.
We didn't hear nothing, Pa.
Anything.
We didn't hear anything, Pa. Of course we did. Don't fire him, Pa. He's my friend.
Do you agree with Gus?
About Vi?
Mm-hmm. I mean, will you like Vi, don't you?
Sure. Vi's nice.
Well, I mean, would you like her as a ma?
Yippee! Ooh, she's my best friend already.
Oh, I'm glad, because, well, I think Vi kind of likes me, and well, you know,
What you trying to say, Papa? You and Viola are in love. I know all about love. I read all about it in this book. Pretty soon it'll happen to me, too. When's the wedding, Pa?
Well, I don't know, but I'll do my best to find out.
Yippee! Oh, goodness, Daddy! Can I be a blind girl? Will you get me a dress?
Now, come on, I got a lot of things to do today. Hey, Gus! You can put it on the books. I'm raising your wages $10 a month. From now on, you can handle all the chores I won't have a chance to do with a horse, a rope, or a gun.
Pa, John's coming.
Tell him I'm saddling up.
Oh, that man, Pa, he gives me the all-overs.
I know, baby. I hope you don't ever lose what you have now.
If it hadn't been for you, I'd never know how good and sweet a man can be. Good morning, John. Well?
Just want to make sure.
Make sure of what?
Sure you still want me for a husband.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Morning, John.
Morning, Dave.
Paul, would you come to the house for a minute? John wants to ask you and Mother something.
Morning, Miss Howell.
Know what you're going to ask, John Slaughter? The answer is no.
Pardon?
Mother.
I'll not have my daughter rushed into marriage. I could not, in all conscience, permit it.
Now, hold on a minute, Rachel. John's our friend and neighbor.
I have only the highest regard for Mr. Slaughter as a friend and neighbor. But as a husband for my daughter, it's out of the question.
Why?
Because you're a widower with 2 small children. How could you possibly ask Viola to accept such drudgery and responsibility? She's hardly more than a child herself.
Oh, Mother, I'm of age.
It's entirely beside the point.
I love John and he loves me. That's all that matters.
It's not all that matters. I simply can't give my blessing or consent as long as John Slaughter wears that gun.
My gun?
What in the world does that have to do with our getting married?
As long as he wears that gun, he's a target for every gun-fighting hoodlum that comes along.
Now, just a minute. I don't go around looking for trouble. I never pulled a gun on a man in my life except in self-defense.
Even in self-defense, a man can get killed, Mr. Slaughter. That's exactly my point. As a husband, you'd make a mighty poor risk.
Well, to tell you the truth, ma'am, it just never occurred to me not to wear a gun.
Well, don't you think about time it did? Or the possibility of Viola being left a widow with 2 small children that aren't even hers?
I never thought about that.
Well, it's about time somebody did some thinking around here.
Well, let's get one thing straight. You mean to say that out here in frontier country like this, with an Indian problem, outlaws, you think a man should go around without a gun?
Mr. Howell never wore a side gun. Why should you?
Do you agree with this?
I don't know, John.
Would it make you happier if I didn't wear my gun?
Well,
It's not a question of her happiness, Mr. Slaughter. It's a question of your safety and her security.
All right. You won't ever be able to say that I didn't try. Take it. You better be getting out for Tombstone.
You didn't have to push him that far, Rachel.
I don't see why not. Somebody has to protect this family. Where would you be if I hadn't been alert all these years? And David, where would you be?
Probably someplace on the other side of the world, having the time of my life.
Better take this one, too.
A promise like that really could be the best thing in the world for you, if you take it in the right spirit.
You're just in time, John. Local Crispin's gang just busted them out of jail. They're headed for the border. Boys, you can forget everything I've been telling you. We got ourselves the best manhunter in Arizona. Not barring Geronimo himself. Well, come on, John, take over. Posse's all yours.
Thank you for the brag, Sheriff, but I got to say no.
No?
That's right, no.
But you and Howell are the ones who brought Loco in for trial in the first place. I don't get it.
Oh, don't you worry about me. You just go right ahead.
Is there something wrong, John? I mean, this isn't like you.
I'm a cattleman, not a lawman. Catching criminals is your job, not mine. Now get to it.
Yes, sir, Mr. Slaughter. Well, you heard him, boys. No sense dragging along a man who's got a weak heart. Let's go. Come on.
Well, how about him? Lets the fire get out of control and wants you to save the bacon.
Come on, let's go.
Go where?
Well, home. Where else?
Well, can't we spend the night here and go home tomorrow?
By tonight, everybody in town's gonna be saying that Slaughter's gone soft. Am I supposed to stay out of trouble? Come on.
Good morning, John. Drop it.
Loco.
As usual, one of us has too great an edge. Just throw it right over here. Well, that's fine. You saddle up the horses while I socialize a bit with my friends here. We rode our horses into the ground, John. Sorry it's you we're gonna have to put afoot. Why don't you warm up the coffee, Pop? I watched the posse leave town, John. Thanks for not going with them. How come?
How come what?
You didn't go with them.
I had plenty of men.
You come into Tombstone to testify and don't pursue? Why?
I got better things to do than beat the bushes looking for you.
Oh, I don't know. Something's wrong. Something's just not right.
You better watch out, Loco. You're getting old and fretful.
That's it. You haven't got a side gun. You're holding out on me, John. Where is it?
Now, don't get excited, Loco. We have no hidden weapons.
Can a fellow settle down, get respectable without stirring up a ruckus?
A man like you needs more than goodwill to back up his play, even if he's right. Now, you got a better reason, John. You're holding out on me. Do you realize what would happen if word got out that you don't wear a gun and don't pursue? Well, fellas like me would steal you blind. Come to think of it, that's not such a bad idea.
You better not take too much for granted, Loco.
John Slaughter without a weapon. Well, now I've heard everything. I don't suppose you'll live till we meet again, but good luck anyway. Could it be you swore off guns on account of a woman?
Loco, a little bit of you goes an awful long way. Now beat it.
Of course. That cute trick with the roan-colored hair. Your daughter, right?
On your way.
When's the wedding?
What difference does it make? You're not invited.
So it is true. Hey, fellas. John Slaughter's getting married to a gal that's made him swear off of guns. What else you make you swear off of, John?
You talk too much.
You better be careful, boy. First thing you know, she'll have you swearing off strong stuff like coffee and chili beans and sarsaparilla. All right, that's enough. Now, when he comes to, you can tell him I spared his life so I could kill him on the fair and square. That is, if he's man enough to come out from behind that roan filly skirt.
We don't have a chance, John. Not more than a prayer. Wait, what for? For certain death? Not me. I want it from behind so I can't see when it's coming.
Wait, Dave! Hey, stop! Dave, don't run!
Let me go, John.
Now stay here. Natchez.
John, it's good to see you, old friend. Sit and we'll talk.
Thank you. Dave.
Thanks.
Well, I thought you was in Mexico.
The season is dry and the hunting bad. We are scouting north for game.
And the hunting's even worse here. Every year, there seems to be less and less hunting.
And more fighting.
Why do you say that?
To be without horses or weapons, it could mean only that you were robbed.
We were robbed, all right.
The guns of John Slaughter are very quick. What man is this whose guns are quicker?
Well, I might as well tell you the truth, friend. I'm taking a wife into my house, and I gave her my word that I would leave the warpath and go without my guns. And that's why we were robbed.
I have watched the white man's woman. She talks and weeps too much. Better you have Apache wife. I could find you strong, young Apache woman.
Thanks, Natchez. But right now, I'd settle for 2 ponies.
Oxa, yato, nosa. The ponies are yours.
Thanks, Natchez. I'll pay you 4 cows. Take this as my pledge.
The ponies are a gift.
Well, remember this. As long as I have beef cows, your people will never starve. Here, Dave, let me help you. Geronimo still in Mexico?
Geronimo and I ride separate trails. But others have heard him brag that after the dry season he's coming north to kill you and drive off your cows.
Well, if you see him, tell him this. Tell him that for him, I'm still on the warpath. Tell him that Slaughter is a rattlesnake on a hot rock waiting for him to pass.
I will go out of my way to tell him.
Thanks, Natchez.
Auxa, what hast du?
You sure do beat all, John.
Huh?
Did I hear you call him Natchez?
Yep, second son of Cochise, and a good friend.
You do live and learn. First time I ever heard of friendly Apaches around here.
Now, don't twist my words, Dave. I said he was a friend of mine, not a friend of yours.
That was a quick trial. No doubt about Crispin's guilt, I expect.
Weren't no trial. Crispin broke jail.
Good heavens, do you think he'll come back here?
Can't ever tell about a hard case like Crispin.
Well, if he comes back, what'll we do?
Give him what he wants, I expect. I sure couldn't put up any fight.
David?
Huh?
Where'd you get that horse? That's not ours.
Oh, I meant to tell you about that. We met some Indians, and we got to swapping and trading.
Indians? Oh, that's a likely story.
Well, it's true.
The only thing true about it is you got cheated. Look at that animal.
Well, that's about enough out of you, Rachel. The truth is, Crispin stole our horses.
Let it go, Dave.
And John couldn't join the posse or put up a fight because of that crazy promise he made to you. You may not see this, but you took away from this community the strongest argument we ever had for a peaceful and civilized living. Now, you just released John from that idiotic promise here and now. Do you hear?
Good day, ma'am.
John! John, I'm sorry. I had no idea what a promise like that would mean. I'll speak to Mama. I'm sure
Forget it.
But why, if it's such a burden to you?
I'm not complaining.
I don't like your attitude. I'm only trying to help.
Well, I'm only trying to keep my word.
No, you're not. You're just being stubborn and childish.
No reason to change back now. The worst is over. From here on in, it won't be so hard to take.
When you get like this, John Slaughter, I could just... Look, I understand how you feel, and I'm sure Mother will, too.
Don't you go asking your ma for any favors for me. I don't want to be any more beholden to her than I am.
You don't like my mother very much, do you?
Let's just say I don't care one way or the other.
Are you trying to tell me you'd rather not marry me?
Oh, I didn't say that.
But you do hate my mother.
I didn't say that either.
Nevertheless, she happens to be my mother, and if you hate her, then you must hate me, too.
Viola,
oh, I can see right through you, John Slaughter. You're everything Mama says you are.
Viola.
So you can just forget that silly promise. Consider yourself free. Go ahead and fight. Get your head shot off and see how much I care.
Come on. Yeah.
What are you doing up?
We're waiting to hear.
Hear about what?
About you and Vi. When are you gonna get married?
I don't know.
Didn't you ask her? Won't her pa let her?
You go to bed and stop asking foolish questions. Get along with you now. Well, I reckon you got a right to know what's going on. I promised Vi and her ma that I'd stop wearing a gun. It just won't work. I can't keep a promise like that.
Why not? Why do you have to wear a gun? Because he's a man. That's why. All men wear guns. Ain't that right, Pa?
I'm not old, Willie, but I happen to be one that does. Seems like once you get the habit, you can't quit.
Why not?
Well, because you're defenseless, left out of things.
What kind of things?
Well, things a man's supposed to do.
Like what?
Well, like defending himself and his family and his house and property and things like that.
Pa?
Mm-hmm.
If you wear a gun again, does that mean Vi won't marry you?
Sure looks that way.
Oh, Vi.
sorry? Oh, I didn't know you had your heart set on it that much.
You don't know how hard it is on me, Pa. Trying to keep house here all by myself. No one to talk to except you and Willie and Gus. Not one single girl even to play with.
Oh, it's not that hopeless. Come on now.
I know it's hard on you, Pa, but couldn't you try?
Oh, sure, honey. I didn't mean that I was going to quit trying.
You didn't?
No, I just meant that it wasn't an easy thing to do, that's all. Sure. Willie? Now, Willie, what's got into you? Hey, come on, now tell your Pa, what is it?
I want Pa to be my mama.
She will, son. I'll do my darndest.
Look, Pa, look what Bert Whittle. Ever see anything like that? He made me a bracelet. Isn't it beautiful? Now he's making me a whistle. His name's Bats. He wants to work here. Besides whittling, he can make taffy pull and tie fancy knots. And cure warts and grow hair on bald people. Swim underwater with his eyes open. And wrestle alligators. And I'm his best friend. Please give him a job, Pa. Please give him a job. He can do anything, Pa.
Now,
Honest.
just simmer down. You let me get a word in edgeways, I'll talk to the man. But alone.
We won't say a word, Pa. We'll just listen.
This is going to be a business talk. Now, you two stay right here. You come along. You can give me a hand saddling up here if you will.
Be glad to, sir.
So you're looking for work, huh?
That's right, sir.
What's your name?
Name's John Raymond Beaumarchus Swain, but most folks just call me Bat.
Bat?
That's right, sir.
What kind of work do you do, Bat?
I'm a tracker, sir.
A tracker?
Yes, sir.
Where have you tracked?
Florida.
Florida? Well, that's a long way off, Florida. What are you doing way out here?
Well, sir, I became just about the best tracker in Florida. Then Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi. Then when nobody could touch me in Texas, I just naturally had to expand west.
How come you picked me for the lucky fella?
Well, sir, I hear all over the state of Texas where John Slaughter just about the best rancher there is. Now, me being the best tracker kind of seemed natural.
I don't have much need of a tracker. It comes to tracking, I do it myself.
Well, that being the case, sir, we'll make about the best team there is, best in the whole wide world.
You're an Apache country boy. They're the best there is.
Mr. Slaughter.
Uh-huh.
Them Apache ain't better than me. Then they ain't human. They bloodhounds.
Do you do any other kind of work?
You heard the children.
Well, I mean useful work like cooking, looking after horses,
Well, yeah,
cattle.
yes, if I have to.
Well, which one if you have to?
Well, any of them, sir, but... Well, Mr. Slaughter, I'd rather be put down in the books as a tracker. I mean, that being my proper profession.
All right, Bat, you're on. 30 a month and found.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, boy, I get a
Loco Crispin run off our remuda and shot Gus. You'd better come quick.
How bad with Gus?
I don't know.
That does it. That really does it.
You gonna catch Loco Crispy, Pa?
I sure am gonna try.
What you said?
Yeah! Yeah! How is it, Gus?
Glanced off his ribs. I had the cook pour some vinegar on it.
Ed said it was Crispin.
And two others. One of them's over there.
The boys that were mounted went after Crispin and the other rustler. Through Sunglow Canyon and into Mexico's my guess.
I need a gun. You'll be all right, Gus.
Take these. They belong to the rustler.
You get Gus in a tombstone. Get him a doctor. Use a chuck wagon. Crispin?
I don't know.
Where is he? Mister, you and Loco got me worn pretty thin, and I'm not about to take much more. Now tell me where he is or I'll blow your head off. Where is he?
He ain't here. He went on into Mexico to arrange to sell them horses. At least that's what he said.
Get up. Take him into the sheriff. Have him charged as a horse thief. Joe, you ride over the Howell place. Tell him I've gone after Crispin, that's all.
Sure thing, boss. Don't shoot, Mr. Slaughter. It's me, Bat. Morning.
Now, what are you doing here?
I figured to be where I could do the most good.
Boy, I don't know. You're either the world's best or the world's luckiest. Or the world's dumbest, I don't know which. You got any idea what kind of country you just came through?
Yes, sir. But nothing follows bad if he don't want it to. Now, I saw those Apaches out there. But those Apaches didn't see me. I travel by night.
Well, nobody can track at night.
Except me.
Well, there's no denying that you're here. Sit down. Join me in some hardtack.
Don't mind if I do. Mr. Slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Those Apaches out there I've been so shy of, they belong to this Geronimo I've been hearing all this bad about?
Could be. He's around someplace.
And this loco we tracking, he good too?
He's one of the best.
Well, now that I think of it, Mr. Slaughter, why, we got here in these mountains some of the finest trackers ever got together at one time in the whole wide world. And that's a fact. Mr. Slaughter.
What you got?
Horsehair.
Well, that's nice tracking, Bat.
About average.
Hey, where you going?
Horses says they went this way.
That way. Friend Loco planted this horse here to put off Apaches.
How well you know this loco?
I know him pretty well.
You know, Mr. Slaughter, that being the case, could be I'm the world's second best tracker.
You come on along, second best tracker. Can you shoot?
A little above average.
It's Loco Crispin.
Friend John, am I glad to see you?
Hold it right there, Loco. Bat, get his guns.
Do you think that's wise, John? I mean, in view of the fact that Geronimo's right on my heels? Wouldn't it be wiser if we just declared a truce and joined forces, at least till we get off this hot spot?
Bat, his guns.
Have you gone out of your right mind?
Get off my horse.
You're wasting me, John. You're gonna need all the help you can get.
You start climbing down.
Not that.
Come on, don't waste time, move.
Why don't you just shoot me yourself, John?
Down. You too, Bat.
Who, me?
Come on, boy, don't waste time. I'm saving your life. Go on, get moving.
Those up.
Natchez. Right about now, I'm real happy to see you.
It's good to see you, too, John. Are you hunting Geronimo?
Nope. We've been out hunting him. He's the one that stole our horses a while back.
When I gave you the ponies?
That's right.
To kill him for you would be a great honor.
Well, would save an awful lot of people, a lot of time and trouble.
Now remember, John, you're a civilized man. I'm entitled to a fair trial.
Yep, I got to take him in for the law to punish, fair and square.
And him?
He's a pretty good tracker. And my friend, I hope he never works for anybody else.
I will see you safely past Geronimo to the border.
Thanks, Natchez.
Oxa, Lusa.
And I thank you, John.
Thanks again, Natchez, my friend.
Friend John. Oxa, glad you got help.
So, we live to meet again.
If they don't hang you, who knows?
I'm real sorry about that foreman of yours, John, but he did resist.
You call it self-defense if you want to, but you're still a horse thief.
First you tell me you swore off guns, then you go and deceive me. Seems to me we're about even.
That slick talk ain't gonna do you any good. You're going back to Tombstone for that trial with a few more charges tacked on.
No, friend, you're wrong. I'm heading for El Paso.
You just tried loco, I'll pick you right out of that saddle.
No, you wouldn't, John. You're too honorable. You couldn't shoot an unarmed man.
Let's settle this once and for all. Get on your feet, loco.
Oh, I'd like to oblige, John, but I'm sorry, I can't get up.
Feels like a break or a fracture. Yep. The cartilage is torn away from his kneecap. I can keep him alive and on the move, Mr. Slaughter, or else we can leave him here to the buzzards.
You know about doctoring, too?
I reckon if I hadn't spent so much time trailing and tracking, I could have been just about the best doctor ever was.
Come on, let's get him on his feet.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Hey, Sheriff.
Howdy, Sheriff.
John Slaughter.
Give us a hand. He's got a broken leg.
Come on, boys.
This one.
Your foreman was brought in shot up, John. Said you'd gone after Loco, but I sure didn't believe him. Not after what you said the last time we met.
You ought not to believe everything you hear, Sheriff. This time, will you please try to hold on to him?
Sure thing. Put a guard on him day and night.
Let me know the new trial date as soon as you hear.
Sure will, John.
Hey, Bat.
Yes, sir.
You take these guns along, give them to Gus.
You don't need these where you're going?
Where I'm going, guns aren't considered polite.
evening, John.
Where is she?
Round there, back.
John Slaughter.
Ma'am?
Before you talk to her, I think you should have these back. You have more use for them than we have.
Thank you, ma'am. What's the matter now?
As if you didn't know.
Oh, what's the matter anyway?
Don't you dare stamp and shout at me. You go chasing off into Mexico after that outlaw without even letting me know, proving you don't care two pins about me, so you can just turn right around and go back for all I care.
Happens I'm a fella who is what he is, nothing more, nothing less. I was a fool to try to change myself just to get you. Now, you take me as I am or leave me be. It's your choice.
Are you trying to threaten me?
Honey, I'm only trying to tell you the truth, but all you want is mush.
How dare you walk away and leave me before I finished? Ma's been in the Tombstone and made all the arrangements, and reception invitations have been sent and flowers ordered. You just can't run away from me now. You just can't.
I thought you'd like your young'uns around when you announced your engagement. Go ahead, children. Congratulate your pa and kiss the bride-to-be.
Congratulations, Pa.
Thank you, Willie.
Oh, thank you, Willie.
Hey, here we go.
In Texas, a ranger he had to become, and outlaws he defied. Oh, Texas, John Slaughter made 'em do what they oughter, 'cause if they didn't, they died. His turned-up white Stetson and